Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Ring Watopia Handicap tonight. Flat course, so should be lots of fast racing, and we'll just start with the rollout. Bumblebee Davy's having some tech issues again, so we just roll out under neutral conditions and we'll get started soon. We'll skip forward quite soon because all the action happens in the last lap here. The race is 3 laps duration of the Watopia flat course. As you can see, they're about 30 kilometers all up, so it's a big effort, a touch longer than the normal big ring events. But here we go now. We're racing live now with halfway through the first lap. We'll just give a shout out here to Rowney, who we can see is currently in the lead group, which is unusual enough. Unfortunately, he did have to abandon the race after a family member had a power vomit next to his trainer. It wasn't him, needless to say, and it turns out it wasn't to be the last vomit of the evening either, but more on that later. So through the first lap now, and a lead group has established. This is McBrien, Matasevich, and behind him Clayton looking ahead to Burns. This was interesting, a little group formed midfield, I suppose, and they were looking good, mopping up previously shelled riders out the front. And just as they're riding along now, we see Sammy Phillips, Winter, and Clayton join their little group. So that adds numbers to the group, and for perhaps the first time on the big ring, we're seeing a little bit of tactical nous enter into the races, not just completely flat out from the beginning. Although there is a lead group up the road of New, Plummer, Kip, etc. We'll see them shortly. So in this mid group now is Sammy Phillips, Matasevich, Burns, Fisher has dropped back to them, Clayton, McBrien and Burns. They're 20 seconds behind the next rider in front, McFadden, and potentially 2 minutes or so to the full lead group. As we see coming onto the start-finish straight for the end of lap 2, this was to be McBrien's swan song, putting in a big effort here in a bid to drag this group back up to some of the leaders. And he did take some time out there. Some might call it a heroic effort. This is the lead group now. So we have in there Stokes, New, Plummer and Kip. The lead group whittled down to 4 now, then back to Abramovsky on the road, Rowbottom, Matthews and Fantana riding together. So this lead group of 4, now you'll know that 4 does not go into 3, so only 3 podium positions available. They'd be starting to think about how the end was going to finish, how the sprint was going to play out. This back now to Rowbottom and Fantana and Danny Matthews, who are looking to pick up Abramovsky next. So this is another little interesting ride, that threesome, Rowbottom, Fantana and Matthews, working hard and working well together. Then we saw the mid-chase group, and back through the field now was Fisher, Phillips, McBrien, Badams, Leach, Clayton, Bumblebee Davies started a minute behind the group out of the gate, which made it tough. This is Winter, Matasevich and McFadden now, the only big ring riders in that group, I believe. And back to the front now, out on the flat extension, and it still remains Plummer to Stokes to Kip and James New on the road. Through the dust cloud, this has been an area where groups have split. Must pay attention through the dust cloud on the flat course. Back to Abramovsky. We understand he's up very early in the morning in his part of the world, so well done for coming along, Abramovsky. Then Matthews and Rowbottom and Fantana, the 3 of them, they're very strong riders. Fantana's found his sweet spot in the TBR events, had a couple of good rides. This really the 3rd group on the road now, McFadden, Matasevich, Winter and Burns. Coming out of the aquarium section. And not long to race now. Moving into the final stages. I want to show you the comment on the side. Feeling strong, Rowbottom, says Fantana. It turns out to be a rhetorical question, perhaps. as we return to the lead group and we see Plummer, Kip, New and Stokes. So the same foursome. 4 into 3 does not go, so someone's going to miss out. Abramovsky is still next on the road, although he looks to be fading to Matthews, Rowbottom, and this is Brian Fantana. Then Winter, the Canadian, who's riding in a group with Matasevich, Burns, McFadden. Then back to Phillips. We'll review Leach before the run into the finish. Then Clayton, Fisher, previous winner, Badams, McBrien, his gig is up, and the Bumblebee working hard, although still not really featuring. Back through McKillop, a first-time rider, Galbraith, and Sandro Costa-Beale was part of that mid-pack group. He's run out of puff. Danny Mead, also out of the United States, and Harper trailing the field at this stage. So the chase group now of Matthews and Rowbottom we're watching as they look to just approach Abramovsky. I think they're going to catch him here, and Fantana may just be able to stay attached. That's Abramovsky. They've gone past him. They have gone past him. Will he be able to claw back onto the wheel? Looks like he has. That's a big effort. So Rowbottom, Matthews and Abramovsky, and a short gap back to Brian Fantana. Although we can't see Fantana over their shoulders. So Rowbottom, Abramovsky and Matthews, second group on the road. That'll be positions 5, 6 and 7. Looking strong and looking as though they can work together to the finish here. Not long to go. I'd say possibly only 4 kilometres at this stage. But hold on now, this is James New off the front of the lead group while we were away looking at the second group on the road. James New has taken the initiative, stolen an early attack. He's not waited for the sprint finish. He's opened a gap to Stokes, second on the road, then Plummer, and this is Kip. So New, Stokes and Plummer at this stage. Outstanding courage from James New. Big numbers, and he's not waited for the sprint finish. He's decided to go early and chance his arm. We'll see how that works out. Abramovsky has been passed by Matthews and Rowbottom, so it's lights out for him. Fantana just ahead of him. This is Rowbottom and Matthews, and we jump forward James New. Fantastic ride, and that's a fantastic victory. Very strong tactical work there from James New. Richard Stokes comes across the line in second place, and the ever-consistent Anthony Plummer in third. So that's great racing. Kip, unfortunately, in fourth, misses out. He's been in the lead group until the very last. Matthews and Rowbottom now are going to approach the line. This will be interesting. So we see Matthews leading out Rowbottom. Rowbottom just comes onto his hip, but it looks like Matthews looks to hold him off, and then no, Rowbottom goes deep, and it looks like Matthews sits up. So Rowbottom next to Matthews, and this is Winter the Canadian beating out Fantana in a sprint to Abramovsky. Then Matasevich. Looks like it's going to be Burns, McFadden, the remnants of that mid-group. Leach, then Badams, looks to be Fisher, then Clayton. We'll wait to see them come over the line, but I think it then will be Bumblebee Davies. Then it's going to be McBrien home, I think, and Mead out of the USA, and Harper, you guessed it, rounding out the field. The sprint finish from Davies was apparently vomit-inducing for 19th position, so not one, but 2 vomits from this edition of the Big Ring Handicap. We're just watching that finish now. Here is Davies. We look and see orange numbers, so 700 watts. You can imagine him in his little pain cave at home, just going to the very, very limit. He started a minute behind the group due to his tech issues, so nice work, Dino. Things are going pretty well down at the Big Ring HQ, so much so that Dino, the top man, he's launching a new event, TBR Turbo Tuesday. It's going to be a non-handicapped event, just a good old-fashioned race with actually simple rules. So 2 groups will roll out 2 minutes apart, no neutral, go for your life. a flat out race to the finish, hoping to enjoy a different type of big ring event. So Monday before that, the normal handicap will apply. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week at the big ring.